Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Carl. I'm a recovery coach here at CAP Recovery Center. This is our coffee and conversation meeting for the day. And the article I have here is Commuting Honesty and Recovery. And this article is by myvictorycenter.com. So you like this article, you can go to myvictorycenter.com. We'll go to, let's see here, communication, honesty, and recovery. And some of these simple ways to be honest with yourself and others. There's often a lot to think about and go through during recovery. You have lots of feelings coming to the surface and perhaps some fears about the future. You may even feel overwhelmed with everything happening around you. Yet throughout your recovery, it's critical to remain honest. Being honest with yourself and with those who support you is a critical component to building long-term recovery success. Yeah, it's one thing I wasn't an active addiction, was too honest. How about you, Alex?
Yeah, I wasn't too honest.
Yeah, me either. That's why I kept on doing the things I was doing because I wasn't honest with myself. Right. We're talking about being honest with self first, right? And then being honest with others. Mm-hmm. And I always talk about, like, in recovery, like, it always comes back to self first. That's first and foremost. Before anything else, I had to get open and honest with myself about what I was doing and the way I'm feeling. And then I can start opening up and being honest with others.
Right.
It says the importance of honesty. During active addiction, there's often quite a bit of lying and refusal to communicate. People suffering from addiction find it hard to focus on your value, anything other than their next dose. They often manipulate friends and loved ones in order to get the alcohol or drugs they have grown dependent on. Yeah, it talks about, like, if I was open and honest with others about my addiction, and, like, say I wanted money for the day or for drugs and alcohol, right? And when I'm going to come to you and say, hey, I need money for drugs, that's being honest, but you think I'm going to get what I want by being honest? Usually not. So, like, I had to manipulate. I had to be dishonest, right? I had to do anything in my power to get money, drugs, and alcohol, and it's all negative. Right. Whatever comes with it, it's like a lot of it's all negative.
They gonna give it to you straight up.
No, definitely not. Well, a lot of people already know what it's for, right? You know what I mean? They can tell just by looking at me what, like, this guy's, definitely intoxicated, right? And he's like, whatever comes out of his mouth is lies anyway. More likely.
Want to buy some food.
Yeah. Yep. Even if I was being honest and telling the truth, more likely I still think it's a lie. Yeah. Because that's my track record. Right. Being deceitful, being dishonest. Mm-hmm. Where was I at here? Let's see.
Honesty,
the problem is that the more you deceive others, the harder it is for them to trust you. That's a hard reality to face when you enter recovery. You can see that what you did was wrong, and you want people to trust you again. But trust takes time to rebuild. Amen to that. Being consistently honest in recovery is the only way to rebuild the trust. Commit to being open with others and communicating clearly. Will be willing to listen to another person's point of view. So building trust, right, and being honest, that takes time, and it doesn't happen for everyone. It does, but it takes sometimes longer than others, because we're based off of lies. I sure was. You think I put the drugs and alcohol down. I'm in recovery. I'm doing right. You think they're automatically going to trust me or think I'm telling the truth? No, definitely not. I have to build that rapport. You know what I mean? Right. I look at people like I know when you're lying. Yeah. Right? You know what I mean? I can spot it. So you have to build that relationship. You have to build that stuff. That doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. Right. But you have to be honest first and foremost. Being honest with yourself. Let's check that out. It says it's not easy to admit when you need help or that something isn't right. Communicating honestly about where you are right now is so important. It's a component of self-care and recovery. Here are a few examples. It says going back to work. So basically, I guess like when you're in addiction, you're using not showing up for work and now you got a job. So now when you get in recovery, you're going back to work. Let's see what it says. Be honest with yourself about the amount of responsibility you are putting on yourself in your professional life. Do you feel as though you're overwhelmed or ready to toss in the towel before it gets to the point that to be honest? Is this the right job for you? Can you ask your employer to reduce your responsibilities? Do you need to go to a meeting to discuss what you're feeling and get tips? So that's another thing. Like where I'm at in my job, I have a great relationship with my coworkers, my supervisors, my boss. Like if I need to take time, if I got too much on my hands, I'm open and honest with them, or whatever the case may be. I'm honest. Because then, like, if I'm not open and honest, if I don't convey this stuff to them and I keep it to myself, I'm going to overwhelm myself. And it talks about throwing in the towel. Like, I can make my own mountain.
Right.
And I have to be open and honest and talk with others.
Yeah.
So, and first and foremost, like I said, honesty is the key to a lot of things. Because if I'm justifying and rationalizing and telling myself these things like I did for many, many years, I'm going to end up in a sticky situation. It says negative thoughts. Another time to be honest with yourself is when you're thinking negatively on a frequent basis. Negative self-talk like this is often inaccurate and comes from a place of fear and frustration. Be honest with what you're facing. Is what you are thinking really true? That's a good one. Do you have a low self-esteem right now? What is causing this negative thought and how can you let it go using the techniques you learned in therapy or counseling or meetings and stuff like that? That's one of the things that kept me using drugs and alcohol was negative thoughts, negative self-talk. I set myself up before I even tried to get better, and that plays a big part of that negative perspective on yourself, on life in general, on other human beings. Negativity attracts negativity. And in recovery, I try to embrace positivity, be open and honest. If I don't tell somebody what I'm really feeling, I'm not going to get better.
Right.
I don't have to tell everybody
Right.
how I really feel or to be honest, right? But I have to tell somebody. And it talks about therapy, counseling, the meetings, sponsor, counselor, the list goes on. We have to find somebody that we can trust. And when these thoughts and these things arise, I can be open and honest with. It says, struggling with relationships. Are you facing difficulties within relationships that are taking over your life? You have to be honest with yourself before being honest with others. Are you holding on to a relationship just to have one but feel as though it really isn't ideal? Are you putting enough of yourself into that relationship? Or are you being dishonest with yourself about the way you feel about this person? That's some of the good questions that you can ask yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we can hold on to a relationship longer than expected. You know what I mean? If it's toxic, if it's chaos, and yes, love is strong. I love you, but like if I'm holding on to something that's not good for me, I have to let go and let things be.
Right.
I have to be honest about that. If not, it's going to be the same cycle.
Yeah.
Resentments, anger, frustration. It says being honest with others. Honest communication extends to others too, even when the conversation is difficult or you're worried about the way they will perceive what you have to say. Communicating honestly is essential. Here are a few examples. It says trying to do it on your own. Asking for help isn't easy, but the chances are good that those closer to you know you need support. If you're not willing to be honest when someone asks, do you need help right now? You're putting yourself at risk for relapse. Honestly means opening up about your thoughts and feelings so that others can offer support. It may be easy to think you can handle it all yourself, but that's rarely the case. Yeah, I try to do things on my own for the longest, and that just caused more confusion, more chaos, more frustration, more using drugs and alcohol. You know, more jail stays. You know,
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
same thing.
yeah,
Yeah, I tried it on my own. You know, my past has shown that every time I try to do things on my own, was always in trouble. You know, now I have to ask for help.
right,
I need help. You know, I can't go navigate through life without help.
right,
You know what I mean? That's why we have all these support meetings and we have other outlets for pathways of recovery. And it's what we help you try to find your pathway, your support. Um, you can't, I don't think, just not recovery, but life in general. I don't think anybody can go through life without support and help.
yeah. When you trying to ask somebody, thinking you ask somebody first, you always, I mean, we even think that asking the right person or ask someone, you never know what they might give you, you know,
Yeah,
still might, doubt yourself, you know.
that's a good thing because, like what you just said, asking for help.
Right.
Well, you gotta watch who you ask for
Yeah,
help.
yeah.
You know what I mean? If
Yeah,
I'm still asking the same Joe Smo that I used to use with for help,
right,
I'm not gonna. I'm
Right.
usually not gonna get the help that I need, right? So I have people in my life today I can trust,
mhm,
right, that are willing to help me and not expect something in return. Like I help you, but you're gonna down the road you're gonna help me.
right, right,
You know, feel obligated. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. It's like now I have people in my life today that are willing to help me
Yeah.
and not asking me for anything,
Right.
which is a blessing.
Right.
You know,
yeah,
want me to do good in life. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
says maintaining your lifestyle. Are you being honest with your family and friends about what's happening to you, or covering up how you really feel? That's a big one. Not wanting to feel how we feel, you would cover it up with drugs and alcohol.
mhm,
So that's not being honest with yourself. You know, if we're not trying to feel our emotions and feelings and we try to cover up and suppress our emotions and feelings with drugs and alcohol, we're not trying to get to the solution of honesty. You know. Let's see here. Maintain your lifestyle, being honest with families. You may be struggling with responsibilities at home or work. You may be finding that you just cannot stand to be around certain people. You may say you're okay with various activities when you're just not there yet. So like yeah, that can because it talks a little bit about the relapse part, right? So if I'm in recovery now, right, and I in some certain situations, right, where there might be drinking or something going on that's not positive for my recovery, right?
Right.
Now, if I'm not open and honest about it, right, I can end up relapsing because I'm not telling the truth or telling someone how I really feel about that situation.
Right.
I call my sponsor. I talk to other recovering addicts. Listen, I don't care if it's 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I've done it. I'm calling somebody. If something's going on with me, my spirit's not too good.
Right.
I need help. I need support.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
that's how I got better.
Yeah.
Is asking for help. I want to ask you: do you have any friends or family that you can call at any given moment and be honest with and receive help?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
And not too many though,
a few.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a circle of people that I have in my corner. You know, I have to. Everybody has to.
Right,
Everybody
right.
has to have that.
Right.
You know, because listen, life shows up. Things get tough. You know, sometimes we think we can't go on, or we won't make it through the day, or so we tell ourselves we're human first and foremost, right? We can be crazy at it sometimes. Our thinking can be squirrely, you know what I mean? So, but it makes me feel good when I'm open and honest with somebody else, and they said me too. You ever heard? I got a case of the me too's because they can relate. You know, that makes me feel good. That makes
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
feel a part of. Like I'm not crazy. You know know what I mean? That was a big part of my recovery because like I remember coming in to meetings and stuff like that, and like I'm in the full room of people, right? Everybody's like having fun, joking, sharing, and stuff like that. But I still felt alone, you know.
Yeah.
And I had to be honest about that. And they would just tell me like, me too. At one point, me too. You know what I mean? So that made me feel better. That made me want to stay in recovery.
Right.
You know. So simple line. Let's see what this is about, huh? Let's see what this says. Simple line. Another example of dishonesty comes from just not telling the truth. You're used to having people judge you, so you don't share what is really on your mind. You don't want to tell someone you can't drink or use drugs like they do. You may lie to family and friends about where you are or what you are doing. And that happens. Like, because our life, well, my life consists of using drugs and alcohol. And I participated in like a lot of criminality and negative stuff. And now I'm like in recovery, like I see certain people I'm like, oh, go to the bar. I'm not saying I never had this for me, but it happens.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I don't do that no more.
Right.
Yeah, but somebody feel embarrassed or ashamed that you don't do that no more, so you're left out,
Yeah.
kind of deal. You know what I mean? But simply like, you don't have to tell them that you don't use drugs and alcohol. I mean, I suggest I do, but you say, oh, I got something to do, or just finagle your way through. You don't have to, tell them, but if they're comfortable telling them, go for it. But like, there's other ways you can go about it to always have an exit plan with certain things. If somebody wants to go to parties or a club or this or that, and where I'm not at no more in my life, I'll simply say, no, I got this to do, or, I don't do that no more, Some people can drink and do what they do and stuff like that. Me, I know myself from recovery now that I can't do anything.
I see like recovery people still go to bars, but they won't drink.
hmm Yeah.
Somebody might come over and offer like drink or something. They're like, nah, I just have a soda or something. Club soda or something.
Yeah, family events.
They still be trying, come on, man,
Yeah, try. Yeah.
Yeah.
And which is not good because they don't know. They might think, oh, well, I drink a little occasionally. I'll go to the bar, I'll go do this and do that, and I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't know how that affects me when I put drugs and alcohol on me. They don't know the extent of it.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, they see somebody put something in them, and a whole new monster comes out. They're gonna regret of asking.
Yeah, they don't know what's going on.
No. But yeah, like family events and stuff like that. Some things we can't participate in no more. That's okay too. There's a world of things that you can do.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you guys, like I don't put myself in bar situations and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God I lost the desire to use drugs and alcohol, right? But I just don't want to be around people that do drink because that comes along with it. They get belligerent, or I don't want the whole scene. I don't, what I mean?
Right.
So I just stay away.
Right.
It said lying may come from not wanting to be judged for mistakes you made in the past or making right now. Perhaps you're facing the reality of relapse, where you're telling your family you're okay. Chances are good they know you are not okay and want to help. So that's a big one. Always say I'm okay, I'm good, nothing's wrong. Not trying to face my emotions and feelings, and that can prevent relapse.
Mm-hmm.
Always say I'm good, I'm okay.
Right.
But I'm really not okay. That can really damage your recovery. And I've learned that from day one. Like I can't just say I'm okay. I have to be open and honest, no matter how crazy I may sound, or might be thinking I'm going to get judged
Right.
or anything.
Mhm.
You know, I'm being open and honest because it's crucial. Like, you know, I want to live. One little lie can,
Right.
you know, take me right out that door.
Right.
You know, which I'm not willing to do. And this last part here is building confidence and recovery. Work hard to focus honesty in every facet of your life. Whether you forget an appointment or are just too overwhelmed to go to it, be honest about why you didn't show up. Value the importance of being honest in all that you do. Building that trust with others is critical to your long-term success. It's also going to provide you with the tools to be confident in who you are and where are you in this journey. I'll close with this, but I like how it says, you know, even if you didn't show up for your doctor's appointment, right? That little lie of like, oh, I had this and did, but you just didn't want to go.
Mhm.
Them little lies can add up to something big down the line.
Right.
You know what I mean? Them
Yeah.
little subtle things
Yeah.
can end up being something really big down the road. So whatever comes your way, be open and honest is definitely a key factor in life in general. You know, and you know how much freedom that I gain from being honest. You know, if I'm not honest with self and others, you know, I'm just robbing myself of the opportunities life has to offer. You know what I mean? It's robbing me from the support that I need. It's robbing me from opportunities in life. You know, it's just robbing me of freedom.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm just closed off and my self-made prison and I'm not open and honest, that stuff will eat you up sooner or later.
Yeah.
You know?
I tend to be like that sometimes, but I don't know. I guess I just like that, man.
Yeah. It's hard to break that kind of stuff. We're just part of
I
us.
mean, like a loner, you know, like a loner.
Yeah.
That,
Isolation.
Yeah, I mean, I like to be by myself, I conversate with people, this and that, but
Yeah.
I just like being by myself, you know, alone.
Yeah.
Don't go out, like going out with people. I don't really like hanging with people, you know. I'll go out with you, but I don't really like, you know, too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody's different. You know, everybody's got their ways of dealing with things. And I was the same way, like in early recovery, I was, you know, just going to meetings and doing things and trying to rebuild my life and stuff like that. Did like I started to learn about myself. I started to forgive myself, to love myself, right? To open up. Like you rebuild yourself in recovery.
Right.
You know, it just takes time.
Yeah.
You know, but you have to practice that. You have to do
Yeah,
certain
yeah.
things. If you don't try, or if you don't be open and honest, then
Right.
you know you're usually going to get the same thing that we got before.
I'll be open and honest, but you know, yeah.
You know, I do everybody
You know, hard bit, but yeah.
for sure. Well, that was our end of the meeting today. I appreciate you showing up. It was a good meeting. Coffee and conversation meeting for the day is communicating honesty and recovery. One of the key factors of life is being honest, and it can set you free. My name is Carl. I'm a recovery coach here at Capital Recovery Center. Until next time, we'll see you later.
Hey, Carl, you can sign the paper.
I sure can.